In a ruling that will send shockwaves through the tech and political worlds alike, the U.S. Supreme Court has decisively rejected Twitter's, now X, appeal to block a court order to turn over data related to Donald Trump's account during the January 6th insurrection. The decision marks a significant setback for both Elon Musk, who had been vocally defending Twitter's stance on the matter, and Trump, who was hoping to keep his private communications out of the hands of federal investigators. For months, Twitter, under Musk's leadership, has been fighting tooth and nail to avoid complying with the legal demands from special counsel Jack Smith, who is leading the investigation into Trump's role in the Capitol riots. The stakes are high, as the requested data could provide critical evidence regarding Trump's communication patterns on the day of the attack and during the weeks leading up to it. In this dramatic showdown, the Supreme Court's decision underscores the judiciary's willingness to hold powerful individuals and companies accountable. And while the spotlight is on Trump, the ruling also casts a harsh light on Musk's attempt to shield one of his most controversial users, ultimately leaving Musk scrambling for an explanation. Twitter's legal battle, Musk versus the law. Since taking over Twitter, Elon Musk has made it clear that he is no stranger to controversy. From his outspoken political opinions to his controversial decisions regarding content moderation, Musk's tenure at the helm of the social media giant has been anything but conventional. However, when Twitter was hit with a subpoena from Jack Smith's office, demanding access to Trump's direct messages, DMs, timestamps, and other private data, Musk found himself in the middle of a high-stakes legal drama that would test his commitment to both transparency and political neutrality. The request for Trump's data stems from a broader investigation into his efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election, culminating in the violent assault on the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. As the investigation gained momentum, it became clear that Trump's use of Twitter during this critical period could hold key evidence about his state of mind and intentions. When Smith's team initially approached Twitter with a search warrant for Trump's account, they encountered an unexpected roadblock. Musk and his legal team mounted a vigorous defense, arguing that Twitter's First Amendment rights were being violated. According to Musk, the company had a right to inform its users, in this case Trump, about any governmental search or data request, framing the issue as a matter of corporate transparency and free speech. However, federal investigators had a different concern: Trump's potential to destroy evidence. In a striking argument, Smith's team referenced Trump's previous efforts to obstruct justice, including his notorious handling of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, to suggest that informing him of the subpoena would give him the opportunity to delete incriminating data from Twitter. U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell, who was presiding over the case, agreed with this assessment and issued a non-disclosure order, effectively barring Twitter from notifying Trump about the request. Musk's challenge, the appeal to the Supreme Court. Undeterred, Musk took the fight to the next level, appealing the decision to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. In their appeal, Twitter's lawyers made two main arguments. First, that the non-disclosure order violated Twitter's First Amendment rights, and second, that some of Trump's tweets were protected by executive privilege, given his role as President of the United States at the time. The Court of Appeals, however, sided with Judge Howell. The court ruled that there was a legitimate concern that Trump might attempt to destroy evidence if notified in advance, and that Twitter's First Amendment rights did not outweigh the government's interest in preserving critical evidence. Still, Musk wasn't ready to give up. In what some legal analysts called a desperate move, Twitter's legal team took the case to the U.S. Supreme Court, hoping that the conservative-leaning bench would be more sympathetic to their arguments. After all, Trump had appointed 3 of the 9 justices, and Musk's vocal support for the MAGA movement suggested that he might find allies on the court. But in a surprising turn of events, the Supreme Court declined to hear the case, effectively ending Twitter's legal battle and upholding the lower court's ruling. The decision was a crushing blow for Musk, whose image as a free speech warrior was now tarnished by his failure to protect Trump from legal scrutiny. What was at stake? Trump's direct messages and more. So what exactly was Twitter fighting to protect? According to court filings, Jack Smith's team was seeking a trove of data related to Trump's Twitter account, including his private direct messages, drafts of tweets that were never posted, and detailed logs of his activity on the platform. This information could provide critical insight into Trump's actions and mindset during the period surrounding the Capitol riots. Investigators were particularly interested in Trump's communications with key figures in his inner circle, many of whom were actively working to overturn the election results. Trump's public tweets during this time were already well documented, but his private messages could reveal a more direct and unfiltered version of his interactions, potentially incriminating both himself and others in his orbit. One key question that remains unanswered is whether Trump attempted to coordinate the January 6th attack through private channels on Twitter. While there is no definitive evidence to suggest this, the fact that Smith's team went to such lengths to secure the data suggests that they believed it could be relevant to their case. Elon Musk's political tightrope. For Elon Musk, the Supreme Court's decision represents more than just a legal defeat. It's a personal and political setback as well. Since acquiring Twitter, Musk has positioned himself as a champion of free speech, often clashing with liberal politicians and media outlets over issues like censorship and content moderation. His decision to reinstate Trump's Twitter account after it was suspended in the wake of the Capitol riots further cemented his role as a defender of the former president and his MAGA base. But this ruling complicates Musk's narrative. By fighting to protect Trump's private data, Musk was aligning himself with a former president who is facing multiple criminal investigations, including charges related to election interference and obstruction of justice. For a man who has long portrayed himself as a disruptor of the status quo, Musk's decision to go to bat for Trump raises questions about where his loyalties truly lie. Some have speculated that Musk's defense of Trump was driven by more than just a commitment to free speech. After all, Twitter's user base includes millions of Trump supporters, many of whom were outraged when the former president was banned from the platform. By siding with Trump, Musk may have been attempting to curry favor with this influential demographic, ensuring that Twitter remains the go-to platform for conservative voices. But with the Supreme Court's decision, Musk now finds himself on the losing side of a legal battle that has exposed the limits of his power. Not only has he failed to protect Trump from scrutiny, but he has also drawn the ire of federal investigators who are unlikely to look kindly on his attempts to obstruct their efforts. The broader implications: tech, politics, and the law. The Supreme Court's ruling has far-reaching implications for both the tech industry and the political landscape. For tech companies like Twitter, it serves as a stark reminder that their platforms are not immune to government oversight. In an era where social media has become a critical tool for political communication, the courts are increasingly willing to step in and regulate how these platforms are used and misused by public figures. The case also highlights the growing tension between tech giants and the U.S. government, particularly when it comes to issues of privacy and surveillance. While companies like Twitter have long fought to protect their users' data from government intrusion, the courts are increasingly siding with law enforcement when national security or public safety is at stake. This ruling could set a precedent for future cases involving government access to private communications on social media platforms. For Donald Trump, the ruling is yet another blow in a series of legal setbacks. With multiple criminal cases pending against him, the loss of this appeal means that his private communications on Twitter could soon become public knowledge, potentially revealing damaging information about his role in the January 6th insurrection. As Trump prepares for his 2024 presidential campaign, the specter of his legal troubles looms large, threatening to derail his political ambitions. The Supreme Court's rejection of Twitter's appeal marks a significant victory for the rule of law and a defeat for those who sought to shield Donald Trump from accountability. For Elon Musk, it's a humbling reminder that even the world's richest man cannot outrun the wheels of justice. As the investigation into Trump's actions on January 6th continues to unfold, the data from his Twitter account could prove to be a crucial piece of evidence, shedding new light on the former president's conduct during one of the darkest days in American history. In the end, this case serves as a powerful reminder that no one, not even a former president or a tech billionaire, is above the law. As Musk grapples with the fallout from this ruling, one thing is clear: the intersection of tech, politics, and the law is only going to become more complex in the years to come. And in this high-stakes game, the courts have proven that they are willing to hold even the most powerful to account.